Hey, we're live. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. I am Steve Shaw, and we will be here for at least 2 hours. Welcome to Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. The last Friday of February, if my calculations are correct. We got a lot going on today, so we appreciate everybody joining in. We got some big news, and we want your questions. We're going to be talking about duck eggs, Massive Iron, Creatine Plus, and all kinds of shenanigans. It's a really good day for me and Robert, so we'll dive into that shortly. Just a few notes. Post up your questions. If you're new, don't be shy. Chime in. Have diet training, nutrition, supplementation, off topic. Robert is a supplement engineer, or Robert is a supplement expert. If there is such a thing in the universe, he is one. He is the Jedi. So if you have questions on supplements or specific products, please ask Robert. Off-topic questions are certainly allowed. We don't mind them at all. So one more thing. If we don't see your question, a lot of times YouTube can be pretty funny. So post it up again or try shortening your question. So before we dive in, the question of the day is, who's this guy?
Hi. Steve, it's funny you mentioned the Jedi reference because I always refer to you whenever I'm describing you to other people that I'm talking to. It's like, you're the Obi-Wan. You're my Obi-Wan because you've kind of helped me navigate my whole career since I jumped into the fitness supplement nutritionist, whatever you want to call the industry that we work in. So it's just funny. I've always kind of considered you my Obi-Wan and guiding me along the way of everything. So.
Well, that's a big honor, and I'm going to have my wife make me an Obi-Wan frock or cloak or whatever, and I'll start wearing that during the live videos. But
please do. Quick little tidbits about myself. My name's Robert Chinetsky, mechanical engineer by degree. Left that in 2015 to jump into all things supplement science, research, and product development in March of 2015. I host 2 podcasts, Supplement Engineer podcasts, The Final Scoop, which also appears live every Saturday. And I'm an industry writer, researcher, formulator, and consultant.
All right. So before we dive into the questions, I want to know where you guys are at, how you're doing, how the gym situation is, how you're training it, where you're chiming in from. But before we dive in, we're going to spend just 2 minutes, so bear with us, on the release of our new supplement, Massive Iron, or Massive Creatine Plus. So I'm just trying to get the screen share here. And over at our website, Super Living Today, we got massive supplements up here. And live right now is Massive Creatine Plus. This is a pre-order. We're looking to have it done out within a month, shipped within a month, but it is May. So we're just building a little padding in just in case there's any logistical issues. But we got the formula down. And really quickly, this is available over at superlivingtoday.com, the link above my head. Get it. These are selling quickly. We only did 200 as a test run to see if we should have any business being in the supplement business. Robert and I hammered this out, the details of this formula this week. We dropped an ingredient. But, Robert, we have 3 ingredients in here other than creatine. Now, a question I got yesterday or a question I got last night, with these added ingredients in, when is the best time to take this, Robert?
You really could take it ideally pre-workout or post-workout. So especially like the D-ribose, there's been studies where it's been used like across a few different dosing ranges, and they split it up throughout the day. So that, obviously you're going to want some carbohydrates before you train, and then you're also going to want some carbohydrates after you train to replenish muscle glycogen, ATP levels, and all those things. Plus, help kind of attenuate that post-workout crash that a lot of people get just from central fatigue. So I would probably, if you haven't had a very carb-heavy meal prior to training, I would take this pre-workout. If you had a carb-heavy meal prior to training, then I would put this on the back end. So don't look at this so much as like, hey, I'm going to take this and my ATP levels are going to be jacked up through the roof for only like an hour. This is a 24-hour cycle. We're looking to increase and replenish ATP stores and get just a higher resting level of ATP across the board. But optimally, you take it pre or post workout.
Now, just for those of you guys that are tuning in, and then we'll get into the questions here shortly. I don't believe anybody has done this before that I'm aware of. Maybe they have, but we're trying to take this to a whole new level. This, like Robert said, Robert wrote a lot of the text for this, but we're not trying to reinvent the wheel as far as creatine, but what we're trying to do is add a few ingredients to improve ATP. Robert, you want to get into it a little bit? What is D-ribose?
Yeah, so D-ribose is a 5-carbon, a pentose carbohydrate. So it's a 5-carbon sugar that serves as a structural component for both DNA and ATP. There's a bunch of studies showing that it can help delay the onset of fatigue, improve energy production, improve athletic performance across a wide range of spectrums. So we tried to do is thread the needle across, like finding an efficacious dose while also keeping it very affordable for the end user. So this ingredient was adding. So we have 2 ingredients. One of the ingredients that we have 4 here, my original plan was for 5 ingredients. The CoQ10/ubiquinol was adding $7 of cost of goods to this product. So $7 before we add on the markup to sell to you guys. So just on the back. D-ribose is the next most expensive ingredient. It's adding somewhere between $5 and $6 per serving to this tub. So it is not a very cheap ingredient. You'll see this D-ribose dosed in some other products. You'll see it dosed like 1 gram, 2 grams, 3 grams, even I've seen as low as 500 milligrams in some amino acid formulas. So we're trying to go for like an efficacious dose while still keeping it very cost affordable for the end users.
If I can jump in, Robert, when it comes to CoQ10, we considered it, and that between D-ribose and CoQ10, it would have added like $13 cost of the bottle, which we would not balk at, guys, because we are looking at putting out the best products in the industry and not just making this about cost. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to pay you're looking at paying $5 more bucks or $10 more bucks for better ingredients and a better formula. So the CoQ10 we dumped, not because necessarily the cost, but because we asked ourselves, what is their value for the cost? Was the added value for the cost there? That's a discussion we had, and we both agreed it was not. And the manufacturer we're working with agreed that it was not. Is that correct, Robert?
Yeah. Our guy that we got with the manufacturing agreed with us. He's a really sharp guy. Him and I have worked together on a few projects in the past, and I ran some stuff by him as well. He concurred with our assessment.
So what is Elevate ATP and Synactiv?
Okay, so Elevate ATP is a combination of ancient peat and apple extracts, and so there's a bunch of polyphenols in these 2 extracts, and it's been shown to basically enhance whole blood ATP levels. That helps your cells just naturally produce more ATP. Over the years, there's been various ATP salts that have come around. You'll see like diadenosine triphosphate salt or chloride or something like that. And they've used doses up as high as 5,000 milligrams or 5 grams worth. And basically all these the bioavailability of all these oral exogenous ATP salts are garbage. They don't actually increase blood levels of ATP. What Elevate ATP does, it's not an exogenous ATP salt. It is a collection of polyphenols that encourages your cells to produce more ATP. And so there's a bunch of studies in healthy resistance-trained athletes noting improvements in energy production, strength and power output, lean body mass gains, and all that. I've got a full write-up of Elevate ATP ingredient on the Supplement Engineer website if anybody wants to check out all of the like a 5,000-word essay on the whole thing.
And how about 50 milligrams of Synactiv? Yeah,
this ingredient used to be called Actogen. The company New Live Science that created it went and rebranded it because there was Astrogen, which is a kind of like a bioavailability enhancer, and then they had Actogen, and there was a lot of confusion between the 2 names given their similarities. So they went and rebranded Actogen into Synactiv, and it's a complex of notoginseng and Rosa roxburghi, which has been shown to kind of help clear out senescent cells, so cells that are broken down, dysfunctional. It helps clear those out, promote the growth of new cells, specifically in muscle tissues, increase ATP production, and it enhances the enzymatic activity of something called citrate synthase up to 47%, which is one of the key enzymes in the ATP production cycle. So what we're doing with this massive creatine plus is we're trying to address ATP from a bunch of different angles. So creatine enhances hydration in the cells, and it increases creatine phosphate stores in the muscle. So it helps you to rapidly regenerate ATP in that first 5 to 10 seconds of all-out effort. We've got the D-ribose, which is providing a structural component of ATP itself, plus giving just the body some extra carbohydrate and energy to utilize. We've got Elevate ATP, which is helping the cells just naturally produce more ATP through a different mechanism than creatine monohydrate. And then Synactiv is improving it at yet again another point in the cycle of improving the enzymatic actions.
So, guys, we're going to put together a video on this on the product page, soon, very soon, so you guys can kind of get a little bit more of this and have a place where you can go for this information. But I want everybody to know, and then we're going to move on. This is a passion project of ours. We're not trying to just enter the supplement industry just to be another, fart in a big empty room. I mean, there's enough farts in the big empty room right now with just, average products. That's not what we're doing this. We're doing this as a passion project. I'm giving Robert free reign. And we're not going to just chop things away because of cost. We want to see what we can do, with outside of the box in our own world. This is just a good launching point. Just something completely different. And the beautiful thing is it's less than $1 a day, right? So you get something a little bit next level, next generation for $1 a day. And, Robert, I'm curious to see, just as a fan of the industry, if something like this takes off, who's going to be the first to start to copy the formula. So it just hit Stack News today. And I'm talking to my wife, this has the potential to be something where people start copying it. So
I sure hope so. I mean, it would be oh shit, Shane actually put in I didn't realize he put a news post up.
On what? Stacked?
Well, yeah, I didn't realize he put a piece up. I told him I was going to talk to him. So we record our Final Scoop podcast on Saturday, and I had a bunch of angry text messages from all my Final Scoop compatriots saying, "What the fuck, man? You didn't tell us you were working on a supplement line." Said, "Well, I mean, I tend to not be very verbose about what I'm doing. I like to stay in the works and let the kind of the work speak for itself." And they said, no, you're not getting out of that. We're going to be grilling your ass tomorrow on this.
We're not big on neither of us are big on self-promotion. Let the products sell themselves. There's a song by the Minutemen, an old punk band, and there's a line in there, let the products sell themselves. Fuck advertising, commercial psychology, etc. So that's kind of where my brain is at. So we got to dive in. My wife's trying to interrupt me right away. What?
Take down to the store.
What? You're going to the store? Bring us some burritos, yo.
I'm taking Baba to the store.
Okay, have fun at the store.
Hi, Fiona.
Hello.
Sebastian, all right, guys, thanks for your patience on that. It feels like one shoulder plate is always hanging down the bench. Bench feels a little narrow, in my opinion. How do I get both shoulders evenly on the bench? It feels like one shoulder is hanging down. Packing your shoulders or kind of pulling your lats in together to create a platform before you unrack. It can be hard to do, and it's easier to do with a spotter. But if you're kind of loose in that upper back, that's your starting point, right? That's your base. Before you unrack, you want to kind of pull those shoulder blades in or pack those shoulders, pack that back in, and then unrack. So give that a try. All right, let's talk about duck eggs, everybody. Scotty Mack says, all right, guys, how are you? Can anybody explain duck egg jokes about Mike O'Hearn? He sold them on his website for like $900.
Yep.
900 is some kind of miracle, I don't know, anti-aging thing. So I think it wasn't just a combination of duck eggs, the fact that he was selling whatever he was selling for $900. So I just checked that page this morning and it's gone. So apparently profitable. What's going on, Stein? Hello from Norway. We got Norway. We got Sweden. Thanks for tuning in from Sweden. And Slim said I'm lost on the duck egg thing. I hope that helped. I put up a link on his Instagram about duck eggs. It's older. I'm not, but we got Scotland, we got Sweden, we got Norway. We're capturing UK. We're taking over in the UK. And if this pandemic bullshit ever ends, we might actually relocate half the year to the UK. So, all right. Stein, still making progress on bulldozer training. Feel like my body to do the training and recover quicker between the mini sets. That's the thing. Like the first 3 to 4 weeks of bulldozer training, you're going to be like, as the Australians say, fuck me dead. You know, you're going to be like, this is different. And then you kind of hit that stage where you perform a lot better. So some experience with it, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, like kind of Stein said. The first 2 or 3 weeks, you are sore in places you didn't really know you could be sore in. Just achy, weird spots. And then, I think part of it is the body gets a little bit more adept at dealing with the metabolic stress, so clearing out the metabolites that generate with it. So when you start to have the shorter rest periods, like you do with bulldozer training or some kind of other rest pause modalities, you're not giving your body as much time to clear those waste products as if you're resting, 90 seconds to 180 seconds between sets. But over the weeks, your body does improve its capacity to kind of buffer out those metabolites, and so that's why you might feel like you're recovering. Plus, you're getting a little bit of a cardio conditioning effect as well. And as you grind more into this, you'll start to notice you get improvements cardiovascularly, and you don't have to waste as much time on the treadmill or the elliptical or anything like that.
So I'm gonna post up something here real quick, and I'm gonna give away a free T-shirt. Okay. So let's do a screen share. Right now we got the story from Stacked 3D, and that is stack3d.com. You go there right now, and it's covering Robert and our mine Robert's Massive Iron supplement line. If you go over there, they have a comment section. Okay, there's a comment section with 0 comments. I want you to go over there and post a comment, something intelligent, not just pounding anything on the keyboard. If you go over there and post a comment, one of you is going to win a free T-shirt, and I might just toss in all my books on PDF for free. So let's show our support for them supporting the little guys. So any of you watching, please go over to Stack 3D, post a comment, something intelligent and respectful over there. I'll announce who wins. And shit, I'll give you a flag, a T-shirt. If we get more than 10 comments, I'll give away a flag, a T-shirt, and all my books on PDF. Again, that's over at stack3d.com. Scroll down a little bit. There's 0 comments, and let's show our appreciation. I would sincerely appreciate it. All right.
I'm definitely gonna have to talk to Shane after this. He lives in New Zealand, so he's asleep right now, but he'll be waking his ass up about 2 or 3 o'clock Texas time. So I'm gonna have to. I thought he was joking when he said I'm going to have a story up soon. I thought, let me at least give you some more details, but apparently he went and figured everything out for himself. So that's why Shane's the best at what he does in the industry.
That's right. Got to stay on top of the competition. Now we got a good question here. Does wrist size determine how much muscle you can put on? I mean, if you have a bigger bone structure, there's potential for a few more pounds of muscle. And I'm generalizing. One thing I really use wrist size for is, you know what the styloid process is, that little bone right there? Mm-hmm. If you measure it on the inside above the styloid process around the wrist, and you add 10 inches to it, that's more or less your arm potential at your current body fat percentage. Now, if you're a bigger boy and you have a higher body fat percentage, that could be 11 and a half. That could be 10 and a half, 11, or 11 and a half inches above that. So if you want to know your arm potential at your current body fat percentage, that's a rough guideline. But big bone guys, yeah, they can put on a little bit more muscle because generally big bone guys are generally taller, beefier, thicker, all around. They're going to have a little bit more muscle naturally. But I would argue that they probably have a little bit more muscle than the average Joe out of the gate. So what do we got here? Let's rock on. RKO by Orton. Can I do dumbbell rows instead of barbell rows? Barbell rows are bad on my lower back. I will say that both of these tend to be harder on the lower back than people suspect. The hardest at my peak strength, the hardest exercise on my lower back was doing 150, 200-pound dumbbell rows. So a lot of people, I set the weight down in between reps. I kind of do what you would call a Pendley-style dumbbell row. And, oh, my God, it triggers so many people because I'm cheating. But you know, at that way, you know, when you're doing 150 or 200 pounds for 20, 25 reps on dumbbell rows, it puts a lot of strain on your lower back. So just know that dumbbell rows have the potential to place strain on your back, just like barbell rows. I would suggest doing them like pendulum style, where you let the weight hit the ground, let the bodies hit the floor, so to speak, and drive it up. Barbell rows, maybe consider moving to something a little bit more leverage friendly, like the hex bar deadlift. So anything to add to that, Robert?
Yeah, you could experiment maybe with some seal rows or some kind of chest supported rows if you can get that apparatus. Like you could do a T-bar row with the chest support there. If you have a chest supported row machine, you can do that. Or you just put a bench like on an incline, lay on it in the supine position with your chest on the pad, and then just row the dumbbells up to your sides like that. That'll help take basically the low back out of the entire equation there. It's really joint and low back friendly.
Thanks, Robert. You know what? I just want to give a quick thanks to you, sexy people, because you're already commenting on Stacked, and we appreciate it. Again, they have a comment section on Stack 3D. We got three comments in already. I'm going to give away, if we get 10 comments, I'm going to give away a flag, a T-shirt, and all my books for free to one of the people. So we sincerely appreciate your support. It means a lot. Always been a little guy in this industry. I'm muscle and strength. No one took me real seriously. My employers. I mean, I always worked hard at the forum, you know, to build friends and relationships. And I don't think they ever took me seriously because I didn't look like a rip dab fit celebrity. And, you know, I've always been a little guy in this industry, so I appreciate it. I'm a little guy that's never gonna stop. So Slim 56, $6.99. They must be some golden duck eggs. Yeah, those duck eggs, man. You need to be able to rub those duck eggs and have wishes come true at that price. What's going on, Daniel? Daniel's one of my clients. Appreciate you tuning in. Another gentleman from Europe. BKS Gaming. What's going on? Insider. Does pump pre-workout products and ingredients to look for. Oh, best pump pre-workout products and ingredients to look for at best doses. Here's a Godzilla of a question, Robert.
Yeah, that is quite a loaded one. There are so many great pre-workouts and pump pre-workouts on the market. The one that we're working on is going to be pretty sweet, but that's several weeks away. So until I can shamelessly plug the Massive Iron pre-workout, and I even myself, when we come out with this one, and there's other products that I've formulated, I still use other people's stuff because there's a lot of good companies making a lot of good shit, and we're all using from basically the same pool of ingredients. So best pump ingredients to look for. L-citrulline, anywhere between 4 to 10 grams, or you could use citrulline malate, 6 to 8 grams. Pomegranate extract, 1 gram of that. Grapeseed extract, 300 to 400 milligrams of that. Nitrosogene, 1,500 milligrams or 1.5 grams. Taurine is good for water-based pumps and hydration, so 2 to 3 grams of that I like. Betaine anhydrous, 2.5 grams of that is really good. Vaso-6, 300 milligrams to 600 milligrams. Vasodrive AP, 254 to 508 milligrams. That's a super fucking expensive ingredient. But that's going to be going in our pre-workout, Steve, no matter what the cost. Nitrates, if you can get your hand on a pre-workout that's got some nitrates in it, those are really good. That depends on which form of nitrate you're actually using. Will determine with the dosage on that, because each amino-bound nitrate, so sometimes you'll have citrulline nitrate, you'll have arginine nitrate, you'll have betaine nitrate. Each of those different amino acids takes up a different amount of space when it's bound to the nitrate. So some of them are like 67% nitrate, some of them are 73% nitrate, so you can't just give like a blanket across the board recommendation there. As far as pump pre-workouts that I really like and I've used, pretty consistently, Bare Knuckle by Apollo Nutrition, which I also had a hand in formulating. FSU by Inspired Nutraceuticals is great. Mega Pre White by Primeval Labs. Ghost Pump is stellar as well. Plasm Surge by Glaxon is great. Vasomax by Performax Labs is really solid as well. There's a ton. I mean, but those are 5 or 6 of my favorites right there that I use or I rotate through on a pretty consistent basis.
Yeah, one thing I want to stress to people is
and Nova Pump from Innova Farm. There we go.
Thanks, Robert. I want to stress to people before we move on that just because we're doing the supplement thing, we're not going to get on it. We're not going to turn that into an opportunity to bash other people. We're still going to give you the honest truth about every product. Again, what we're doing with our products are a passion project, and they're going to be what they are. And if you guys like them, you can buy them. And if not, that's okay. But we're still going to deliver the God's honest truth and everything we do. And that will never change. So I just want to stress that. I was going to mention a note for those of you guys that are interested in becoming trainers or online trainers or whatever. I've picked up a lot of questions in the last month, and I'm actually going to put together a mentorship group where we are going to meet once a month. I'm going to help guys everything from website to securing clients, programming, whatever. So keep an eye on that. That's basically going to be a one-time fee, and it's going to come with private forum where you guys can post up questions regarding training and once a month Zoom memberships. So basically what I'm going to do is provide a mentorship service. I don't know what I'm going to charge right now, $60-$70, but one-time fee. I'm helping people behind the scenes. I want to continue to help people, so keep an eye on that if you want to get into training or if you want to learn the notes about growing an online business. All right, Greg Duvier, I got my pre-workout in. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for your support. We're going to rock this out as quick as possible. Scotty Mack, I'm currently running a 12-week program for college assessment. It is actually really difficult to ensure a particular percentage of progress, or at least it requires more thought than people realize. Programming is much more complicated than people realize. It's like a car. You have a lot of different variables, and at the end of the day, all the different variables need to balance so speed is maximized, or performance is maximized, or longevity is maximized. So anybody can slap exercises on a notebook. But fine-tuning that stuff is a different story. And programming is really an art, and I have to say, not a lot of people are dedicated to the arts. I have a statistical background, looking at balance, and that just comes natural to me. When I look at a program, I analyze it by numbers and all these different variables, and I try to provide the best balance possible. But anyway, without rambling, how are we doing over on Stack? Oh my goodness, you guys are killing it.
We're up to 7.
I got 7 comments. I swear to Jesus, if we get 20 or 30 comments, I'm going to give a free coaching to one of you guys. So just keep going. We get to 20 or 30 comments, I'm going to give you guys everything I have: my dog, my empty energy drink cans, the thing I blow my nose on. I'll give you my Advil, my car keys. I got an old junker here. You guys can have it all. I just appreciate the support. And just a reminder, if we get to 100 people watching at the same time, 75 right now, Robert will take his shirt off and flex.
Can I just give away a free tub of creatine instead?
Nah. People are going to be asking for free tubs like we only got 200.
Well, just wait until we get big enough, then all the review channels are going to come crawling out of the woodworks and asking, can I get a free tub of this? Or like the people that say they're a review channel, but they're really not. They're just begging for free product.
Yeah. Review channels that's never going to happen. I'd rather just if we do any giveaways, they're probably going to be on live. Morning, gents. Are things looking up in Texas? How are things going down there? I bet your plumbers are making a fortune right now.
Indeed, they are. I mean, we finally got water back at the house. We went over 100 hours with no running water, but luckily we had bottled water. We filled up the tub with snow and all that, so we got water back Sunday night. We were actually at one of the. So my wife's a teacher. One of her students, though, they have homeroom, and it's like 9 different girls are in her homeroom, and it's almost like a mentoring thing kind of there. So she's with these girls through their entire course through high school. So she's got like 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, 2 juniors, 2 seniors. It's a really small Christian school. And so she kind of mentors all them, and she's grown really close to one of the families there. And so they reached out to us on Friday of last week and said, hey, if you need a warm shower, you just want to get out of your house or something, please come over. So we went over there Sunday night, took showers, bathed the little halfling and all of that stuff. And then when we got home, we had running water, but it was nice to just kind of hang out with their daughter and the two parents, Sandy's known the parents for a couple of years now, and they were really cool. I got to talk to them a bunch about Louisiana cooking and make some cocktails for them and whatnot while we were hanging out in their house. So it was a good time. We have running water. The boil water advisory is removed now. Now we just need to scrape the fear-mongering liberal fucktardery out of Austin, and then we'll be 100%.
100%. Gyms are still closed here in Saudi Arabia. I'm glad you mentioned that because there are, like in the U.S., we get so much information on COVID, but it's only on certain companies or countries. Like my wife is Australian, so I hear about Australia. We have a lot of European folks that watch. I have clients in Singapore and China, so I can kind of keep an eye on that. I have a lot of clients in Canada and Mexico. But like the Middle Eastern countries, I don't hear a lot of news. I don't hear a lot of news about Russia either, what they're doing. So, yeah, I wasn't even aware of how many of the countries in the Middle East were handling things. I do know, I believe, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, that Saudi Arabia has a huge interest in the lifting world.
Mm-hmm.
I recall being, when I was at Muscle and Strength, that there was a lot of orders coming in from Saudi Arabia, I believe. So I think it has a huge passion for lifting. Lindsay, gyms open 26th of April. I believe that's Scotland. And let's hope so. I mean, seriously. Sorry. Scotty Mac, 1.5 million out of 5 million vaccinated in Scotland. And gyms shut till late April. Shows you how much faith the commissar has in the vaccine. I don't know. I mean, the vaccine was – I'm no expert, but the vaccine was rushed, and there's like 2,000 variants right now. So I think herd immunity is just going to take its toll, and hopefully we can move on. Leon, does acne mean you have high testosterone levels? Not necessarily. If you are eating clean for a while and then you have like a junky weekend where you're eating a lot of things you don't normally eat, I get acne. That is nothing related to testosterone levels. So I'm no expert on acne, Robert. Do you have any greater insight into that? I assume they're tied to testosterone levels, and I assume there's something going on with, what's happening when you eat bad food, junk food, crap food that triggers that.
Well, yeah, it's like if you supplement or you take a bunch of exogenous testosterone, you can get back acne. And so that's kind of one of the telltale signs people look for if you're on gear or something. But I mean, acne could be caused by a bunch of things. It could be your diet. You could just be a high secretor where you're secreting a lot of oils through your skin. You might just have dirty skin where if you're not, very diligent about cleaning and whatnot, there could be a ton of different. Acne can also be caused by stress if you're really, you're anxious over a bunch of things. So it doesn't necessarily mean it that way. It could, but it doesn't necessarily mean it like that.
All right, Paladin, best time of the week. Thank you. We appreciate your support more than you know. Sam, can a lifter deload every 3 months, or will I need to do it sooner? Well, Sam, let's set a baseline. I talk a lot about deloading, but first off, we have to consider natural deloading. You have to consider the fact that during the coming year, there'll be times where you are going to take time away from the gym when you're sick, when you have vacation, when you have life events. Your sister had a child. You got to go to somebody's graduation. So we have that sort of thing. And then you're going to have moments where you feel beat up. And those are moments where you shouldn't necessarily schedule a week off, but you should schedule an extra day or two until you feel good. So those are natural deloading times, and those should always take a priority. Once you reach the intermediate stages of lifting where your strength levels are pretty darn good, there is an argument to be made to take every fourth week if we are someone that wants to be lifting into our 50s, 60s, and 70s. And this isn't something I read elsewhere. This is something that this is something this year that I've really been thinking a lot about, because I am 50, I don't know, 3, whatever the hell I am right now. that would probably be something that I would change. Every fourth week, go lighter. For lifters that aren't, take a week off or deload every 3 months, every 4 months. Probably not a bad idea. Probably not a bad idea at all to lick your wounds, have a little fun, and just a lot, eat a lot, and chill. So, Robert, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, you pretty much said everything I was going to, but I think a lot of us don't want to take a deload for the. I know we can just kind of build this off into a separate conversation or add to it. I don't know if it's some of us are scared to take a deload so much that we feel like we're going to lose our gains or anything. I think it's more of like mental therapy. Like we go to the gym because it's part of our routine, part of our structure, and if we get out of that, then it kind of sends us through a loop. And I guess at least for me, that's the way it is with me a lot. Like even when we didn't have power and water last week, every day I still made sure I hit my training sessions rigorously. I had my pre-workout. I did my usual routine and rituals and all that stuff, even though everything was going to fucking hell in a handbasket. But I didn't care. It's like that is my 1 hour, hour and a half each day. That is just for me. Sometimes I've got, a 3-year-old running around in between the dip bars when I'm trying to do a dip or whatnot. But, that's neither here nor there. But, I think a lot of us look at it as the mental therapy, and we don't want to take a deload because, the deload is that you don't even want to go to the gym, or if you go to the gym, you're not going to be able to restrain yourself and pull it back. So, I think a lot of the times the deloading is more of mental than it necessarily physical for a lot of times.
Yeah, I would say if you're going to take a deload, or if you want to structure a deload, something different to do, like, hey, maybe a new video game is going to come out. Spend the whole weekend just ramming on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Or watch all the Star Wars movies, or get away on a weekend trip. What? Only some of them, whatever.
Only 1 through 6. Fuck 7th, 8, and 9.
All right, I haven't even watched 7, 8, and 9. I don't even know.
Don't waste your money.
All right, Ernesto, I've been doing push-pull legs for a year. Any other routines I could do to spruce things up? Let's see. It gets a little bit. Ernesto, with the way the current research is, why not try a full body part split? Maybe just go 5 days and go deep. The 5-day split I like to use a lot is chest and biceps. And I like to do deadlifts, hamstrings, and traps on a workout. So I like to put some on that day because I don't like to do all that stuff, but I like to go and do deadlifts, maybe hamstrings and traps, a lot of shrugs, get your hammy work done, and then maybe do maybe some calf work or something. Then you have your back and triceps. Shoulders, and on shoulder day you can do more abs and maybe more traps if you want, and a leg day. So maybe try a 5-day split for fun. Go old school. I'm definitely going to order. Thank you, Slim. We have 200 units, and I believe my goal by Sunday is to have 100 of them gone. Half of them gone. And the reason why I have that goal is because that'll cover the cost of the product. And then we can take that money and, fund the multivitamin, which is going to be the best in the industry, the D3K2, and the joint sup. Did I miss anything? Those 3, Robert?
Joint D3K2 combo. And then we'll eventually roll all that into the pre-workout. Yeah,
so we're not rich. We're not rich guys, but we're trying to, here's the honest truth. If Massive Creatine Plus sells, then we can fund other products. If not, we go bye-bye with it and we lose no money. So it's all in your hands. You guys like the products, it's going to grow. Some people are going to ask, are you going to do this, that, or the other thing? We will if you guys like the products. If you don't like the products, we'll just get out of your hair.
Yeah, I think that's what we're like. We're rolling all the profits we make from this product into funding the next one. Like Steve and I aren't taking a cut of any of this. This is all going straight back into developing the next line and funding the next couple of product orders and all of that stuff. So if you guys want to see what else we can, what other kind of cool shit we can come up with, please feel free to support us.
We're creating Massive Iron LLC became a corporation last week. Officially, we got approved. And we're going to take everything we make and we're going to put it into a bank account. We're just going to bankroll new products. So we have some padding, so neither of us lose money. But we want to see where we can take the products and see where the interest is. If we put out a product and there's no interest, then we're just going to chop it off like a dead branch and try something different. There's a lot of products out there. I'd like to see what Robert could do, like a Nootropic. I'm excited for his joint formula. And, there's, what can we do with the same old stuff like we did with creatine? Make it exciting again, or change the game. Or the game's been so stagnant for a while. I think I watched a podcast with you, Robert, where the gentleman from Giant Sports was on there, and he was talking about how the game has been kind of stagnant for a while, but there's still some exciting new ingredients out there. But I don't think it's just about exciting new ingredients. I think it's about kind of the industry's been in the rut for a while, so let's think along some new paths and new directions.
Yeah, exactly. Or you've had companies that come out, like Caged Muscle was a really good example. If they said game-changing pre-workout, and the thing looked like a beginner's pre-workout, like C4 is about as good as that product was. Or they came out with micronized glutamine. Nobody gives a shit about microencapsulated glutamine. You don't need to fucking supplement with it. So those are the things like innovation is coming out with, and it's really just watered down dog shit ingredients. I mean, we saw people hawking CLA and regular L-carnitine and all this other stuff, and they're trying to bill it as something that's revolutionizing the industry when it's just a rehash of stuff that was done 15, 20 years ago. And it's just everything that is old is new again. And so, we've got a robust database of ingredients. Now it's about massaging those and finding what kind of pathways they can work with. Let's put them all together, because a lot of these in combinations have never been studied before in humans. But, it's like if you understand the pathway, and if those receptors and those pathways are active in humans, maybe you can extrapolate, we can get some kind of effective dose from this. And so that's kind of where what is always really appealed to me about the supplement industry is finding the various mechanisms in the body through which these ingredients act, and see what way can we kind of like, concoct our own thing, be our own little alchemist to massage and combine and like brew up my own little pot of fun stuff to see what happens.
So I'm going to post a question, then we're going to move on. I want you guys to drop a comment down below in the comments section. We are talking about multivitamin and powder. Robert mentioned the idea of a powder. And part of me is terrified to do that, but part of me is a little bit excited because I hate taking pills. I'm okay with gummies. But to be able to dump a powder in my morning drink or whatever and slam it, sounds interesting. So I want to see what you guys think. Would you be interested in a multivitamin powder instead of just another pill?
Yeah. Flavoring is going to be a bitch because those minerals taste awful, but we will do our best with the flavoring house and the manufacturer if we can pull it off and if there's enough interest in it.
Yeah, somebody asked me about BCAAs. Oh no, my wife asked me, we're going to be doing a BCAA. No, not doing that same old industry song and dance bullshit.
5 grams BCAAs, man, 47% more muscle growth.
Fuck all that. We are not doing that same old industry bullshit. Dungeons and Dumbbells, that's the name of the day. I'll order some when I use my current tub of creatine. Thank you. We appreciate the support.
Yeah. Or you could order it now and it'll be ready for when your tub of creatine expires.
Yeah, that's a very, very good idea. Kat, is push-pull legs with a rest day after 2 workout days a reasonable split? Yeah. I'm going to put out a little small PDF on flex scheduling. So I prefer flex scheduling with a push-pull legs. My preferred way of push-pull legs is you have 2 workouts for each. Push A, push B, pull A, pull B, legs A, legs B. So you have a rotation. Push A, pull A, legs A, push B, pull B, legs B. And you insert rest days where you want, where it makes sense. Don't train more than 5 days a week. And insert rest days when life events come up, when you need rest, when life is kicking your butt, when they lift the COVID restrictions in your area and you go get drunk for 3 weeks, whatever it happens to be. But you can do 2 on, 1 off. I do not personally like working more than 2 days in a row hard because I feel torched the 3rd day. So mileage may vary. Sebastian says lamb hearts over here are cheap and have a lot of CoQ10.
I've tried chicken hearts. I was not a fan of it. I don't know if I would be going in. I like regular lamb meat. I don't think I want to try lamb heart though. I mean, unless maybe there's a really tasty way to make it.
I use lamb heart, or excuse me, chicken heart. You can find those at the store. You just dice them up small and toss them in with some other, in meal prep or whatever, and you don't even know they're in there really. Slim, I paid $29.99 for my current creatine. It's just plain creatine. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, because you're going to get $29.99 with us with 3 added ATP ingredients. So
yeah, I'm going to say I was looking at I saw this comment populate a little while ago. I pulled up our cost of goods, so what it costs before shipping, bottle, and all that, just the ingredient costs themselves. Creatine monohydrate is the second cheapest ingredient in the formula at the full 5-gram dose. The most expensive is the D-ribose. So I think you were overpaying for your current creatine supplement, Slim.
So Robert, ballpark, what was just for transparency, what was our cost just for creatine?
Our cost for creatine, so a 5-gram serving of creatine was $1.04 per serving for the 30 serving tubs. Now, if we say so that's for us putting in an order of 200 units. If we put in an order for 1,000 tubs, that cost is going to probably go down to something like 75 or 80 cents per serving. But for right now, for the load that we're dealing with, it's $1 a serving.
Yeah, so I mean, there's other things involved in a product other than just creatine costs. I mean, you have packaging, you have warehousing costs, you have
Shipping.
like the manufacturer, packaging.
Yeah, they need their markup so they can make a little bit of a profit margin too.
Graphic design, they have to make a profit because they're a business. So I want you guys to remember that when you look at that, there's more eggs in the basket than just the cost of the ingredients.
Yeah.
All right, Cristobal, thoughts on training with THC, muscle connection. I was my strongest when consumed. That might be working for you, and I'm not discounting that at all. But that's, some people will say to me, I feel strongest when I have carbs pre-workout. I feel strongest when I have complex carbs 2 hours pre-workout. I feel strongest when I have simple carbs 1 hour pre-workout. Mileage varies a lot. Some of that can be placebo, and some of that can be real. There's no real way to tell. I personally would never be high when I train. I don't think that's a good idea. I want my complete focus. You guys are free to do whatever you want. I'm not judging you, but I just I don't see any value in not. So that's just my opinion. Ahmad, I do upper lower split in my gym, but I do back my lower days. Is that fine? Yep. My ABs actually are legs and back on one day, chest, shoulders, and arms on the next. And the reason why I do that is because if you just have legs and then you have your entire upper body, you have to do chest, shoulders, back, arms, traps, and then legs you do quads and a little bit of hammies, maybe calves, maybe abs. It just balances better. I had a client this week say, if you train legs and back together, is it going to cause interference? Is it going to be too intense? And no. People are doing full body workouts. The only thing that's going to cause interference is improper programming. And, maybe you might not be conditioned to it, but you got to just allow yourself to get used to it. All right, what do we got here? Harut, love the new supplement, guys, but can't justify the shipping right now. $20 for Canada. I respect that. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody they should spend $20 for shipping. So I will say if you buy 10, that will split the shipping cost up a little bit better. And your mom will say you've been financially wise. You've been financially wise.
Yeah.
Then you can
have almost an entire year supply of creatine too.
Yeah. So no, but I understand completely. Nice formula. Can't wait to see the rest of the massive supplement line. A bit expensive to ship to Canada, though. Yep, that's true. I mean, that's something I've in my entire time in the supplement industry. that's something that all the big companies go through, you know. So, Leon, can I just do Romanian deadlift when training for size? Regular deadlifts are bad on my back. I get this question a lot, and I have to say it, that 9 times out of 10 deadlifts are back because of form issues. So I do not like dumping a movement simply because one isn't the best at form. I think there's value at keeping it in the rotation, maybe a little bit lighter and working on form. But 9 times out of 10, if deadlifts are killing your lower back, either you're naturally weak and you should probably consider sticking with them for a while, just not as intensely, without the same intensity, or I don't see any good reason to dump them. I just don't. The Romanian deadlifts, yes, they're a hip hinge exercise, but they're a completely different beast than a regular deadlift. So, anything to add to that, Robert?
No, I mean, if he's wanting to do just the hip hinge pattern, and your goal is purely size, there's no exercise you have to do. So, I mean, you don't even necessarily have to do Romanian deadlifts with a barbell or something. You could do dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. You could do leg curls. You could do sliding floor leg curls. But I mean, it kind of is very dependent on the context and the end goal and all of that stuff. So if you're powerlifting, would I say you can only do Romanian deadlifts? No. But if you're going purely for size, then find the movement pattern of the exercise that allows you to get the maximum muscle building stimulus without wrecking your joints, ligaments, and connective tissue, or irritating structures on your body that may cause issues down the line for you.
I will say that if you're just one of these guys, and there's nothing wrong with it, so like, look, I've tried to work on deadlifts for 2 years. It's not going anywhere. Screw this. That's okay. But I would consider a different deadlift variation, like a hex bar deadlift would be the next step up. Maybe a sumo deadlift might be easier for you to learn, or a block pull, something a little bit more lower back friendly. A block pull or a hex bar deadlift probably would be a good replacement for a deadlift rather than a Romanian deadlift.
Yeah.
Kat, would you start with pull-ups or dumbbell row on back day? I like to start with the heaviest hitter. I don't want to do dumbbell rows after pull-ups because there's going to be a little bit bicep fatigue. For me on back day, it comes down to which exercises do I want to do with the least amount of bicep fatigue. And that's going to be my big rows. So anything to add to that, Robert?
Yeah, I would say it depends on what your goals are. Are you looking to progress your dumbbell rows as your primary? So we have, so say in a normal back day, you've got 3 or 4 exercises that you're going to do, and then you tack on biceps at the end of it. Your first exercise is going to be the one that most of people gauge their progressive overload with. So the ones that you're going to be able to add reps and weight to over the time, because all of your exercises after that first one are going to kind of fall off based on how much you're able to overload in that initial exercise. So which one is more important to you for this training cycle to progress on and make that the focus of your training? Is it pull-ups or is it dumbbell rows? And then also kind of figure out, maybe if you do dumbbell rows, are you too fatigued to get in a decent amount of pull-ups? So say you do your heavy dumbbell rows, are you only able to get in like 3 or 4 reps of pull-ups after that? Well, then maybe you want to put your pull-ups first so you can get 6, 8, 10 reps on the set, and then you go to your dumbbell rows where that's a little bit easier to modulate the weight that you're using on there, where pull-ups you can't really do anything aside of you're going to do like a jumping pull-up or a band assisted pull-up or a chair assist pull-up or something like that. So those are a couple of things. I typically, for my warm-ups, I will do some body weight rows and dumbbell rows just to kind of get the upper back and the lats and everything warmed up. And then I usually start with slow eccentric pull-ups, like doing a 3-second negative and pulling myself back up and all that. I usually make pull-ups my lead back movement for my back training, just because that has always been probably my weakest, compared to dumbbell rows. And I like the challenge of pull-ups and seeing how far I can progress those.
Thanks, Robert. The next comment might well be the comment of the day, burritos.
Here we go.
I'm going to mention this because I like to do off-topic stuff. It's fun. Me and my wife had this discussion. Let me see if I can find them here, you sexy people. I want to see if I can find my product, the product that I like. Yes, here it is. Much love to you, Tina. I love Tina. I'm going to explain who Tina is right now. All right, so let me just get this up, and I'm going to ask you guys a question for fun, and this will be a fun little question for you, Robert. Like crap foods, processed foods, at the store, generally they taste less. They don't taste as good as the real stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get a store-bought pizza, it doesn't taste as good as Marco's or whatever. But occasionally there's an item at the store that's a processed food that you're like, man, this is good. This is the item for me, Tina's Red Hot Burrito. I've been eating these for like 20 years. Not a lot of them, but once a month I got to have a couple Tina's Red Hot Burritos.
Yeah.
I like putting Frank's Red Hot on top of these. The taste, the texture, it's just like processed food sex for me. You ever tried these bad boys?
I have not. I've never been a big burrito person. Like if I went to a Mexican restaurant, like I think like Wednesday at the engineering firms I used to work at, we would all go. All of the mechanical group would all go into the local Tex-Mex place, and you get one of those combo platters where it's like one cheese enchilada, a beef burrito, and like a crunchy taco. And so I'd have burritos like that, but I've never been like let me go to Taco Bell and get a beef chimichanga burrito kind of thing or something like that. I've never been I was more of like a pizza pocket, pizza roll kind of processed food person if we're going to go down that rabbit hole of frozen stuff.
So I'm curious, anything you guys like processed food that you find like is like a guilty pleasure that you got to have every now and then? Like Tina's burritos, the rest of her line just tastes like crap to me. The plain bean burrito, the green chili one, but the Red Hot, like it's like they accidentally created the ultimate burrito formula and they don't even know it. So
I haven't had a frozen processed food like that. Shit, I don't know. Like I ate all that stuff like in high school, college, or when I was a little kid. I'm trying to think of like the last time I had one of those kind of foods. And I'm not doing this to try and say, look at me, I'm so good at eating. It's not. I mean, I have bourbon pretty regularly, so I mean that's my cardinal sin of nutrition right there.
Well, it's like this. If you
protein bars, I guess that's what my guilty pleasure now is. Protein bars, like that's super hyper processed crap, but I mean I eat those pretty regularly.
Well, this is kind of the vanilla almond builders bars.
Mm-hmm.
They're my only sugar fix during the day. But like if you have jalapeno poppers at a restaurant, they generally taste better than poppers out of a bar. Or mozzarella sticks, they'll taste better at a restaurant than the store. But the Tina's Red Hot Burritos, that's one of the few processed foods, and I would punch a nun to get to one. You know what I'm saying? Not really. It's just humor.
You're fucking crazy.
Get out of the way, nun. That's just humor, folks. I wouldn't actually punch nuns. What's going on, Neo? Appreciate you tuning in. Justin just did the pre-order, $50 USD for us Canadians. A little pricey for the shipping, but worth it. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
We appreciate that. And you know what? Maybe, I don't know, we'll look into things, but maybe if we can stack this stuff, stack a few products, a few regulars that people are interested in, maybe it'll reduce the overall shipping costs.
Create like a muscle building stack, a cognitive enhancing stack, a daily health stack, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe there's a way to put. I mean, I would not be against finding, if there's a way to put together stacks to allow for, free shipping, low shipping. These are all things we could explore.
Yeah, it's good. It's just going to take time until we get our inventory up and the rest of the products funded and all that. It's a slow grind. So initial investment will these price will come down as we grow this line. It's just gonna. I mean, we're in the first week and a half of this thing going. So
right. All right, Gary. Mike is something else. Mike O'Hearn. Yeah. No
Mike O'Duckegg.
Mike O'Duckegg. Did you see my video, Robert? I know you're not. You don't have time to watch my videos, so.
No, I was watching it right before we hopped on this call because I said Mike O'Hearn. Like I know who Mike O'Hearn is and all of the other stuff, and I just thought, what the hell did he say now? And so I watched your video right before we hopped on our live.
He's on an elliptical, basically saying that the heart is strong and you don't need cardio year round. And he gives an example. There's a 700-pound man in the Midwest that just shows you he's still alive, so therefore the heart is strong. And the industry, is pushing all this cardio equipment, and you don't need cardio year round. Like, kick rocks, seriously.
That's like the same argument that stupid Game Changers documentary made, where they had some moron saying, a gorilla's 800 pounds and he only eats plants. He's got a lot of fucking muscle on him. You should only eat plants and you can grow as big as a gorilla. No, it's not that simple.
Look, through that, I'm going for the dinosaur.
Yeah.
If you're going to go plant eater, I want to be a brontosaurus. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
T-Rex, motherfucker. All right. Speaking of T-Rex, I like talking movies, man. We watched Monster Hunter, and it was all right. It's like cotton candy for the brain. It was okay. I don't play the video games, so I don't have any point of reference, but it was all right.
I watched Den of Thieves this past week. It's a bank heist movie with Gerard Butler in it.
Right.
That was pretty good. I saw that the other day. I always like a good kind of like action thriller heist movie. That was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, we got to pace ourselves horror, but there's so many bad horror movies out there.
Yeah.
So many cliche ones, found footage stuff. Man, get over it.
Those have never interested me. Like, I watched the original Blair Witch Project, and I didn't find it scary. And all of the rest of like the other found footage ones that have come out over the years, those just don't do it for me.
There's only one found footage movie that I like, and I forget the name. There are these people that are trying to hone in on I think it's a group of 3 younger people, and they're trying to hone in on this signal from this hacker. And they drive and they get to the station at night, and it's dark and it's an abandoned house. And when they get there, one of the ladies is abducted by aliens or something weird. It's really that scene is really rather intense, but I can't remember the movie. Cool. Pump 56. Did you trial any of this combination for efficacy or just formulate on anecdotal or scientific evidence? This is regarding massive creatine plus. Robert?
Yeah, well, I've used all of these ingredients in various combinations over the years. Do I have $250,000 to fund a randomized controlled trial, double-blinded, placebo-controlled thing at a university? No. So have we put this through an RCT at a university? No. But, I mean, creatine stands the test of time. I don't feel like I need to. There's over 100 studies on creatine. I don't feel like we need to do another study on that. I've used ATP alone and in combination with creatine before. D-ribose I've used before. Synactiv I've used. That's probably the one I'm least experienced personally with using, but I do like the science behind it and enough other anecdotes that I've spoken to, enough other people whose opinions I respect in the industry have used it themselves, either on their own or in their products and things like that. So I feel fully confident in the formulation that we're doing with everything.
Thanks, Robert. And we got Eric. Hello from Ireland. Hello. I don't know how you guys are doing. I know I'm excited the UK is opening up so I can get over to Wales this year. We have tickets, but just don't know when. Our list, I'm going to drink my way through Ireland one of these years. Dwayne, is it necessary after a couple years of lifting to incorporate block or peaking to your routine, or just keep grinding? It's not necessary really to do anything. I mean, honestly, Dwayne, I trained the same way for 50 years out of the gate. I tried push-pull legs once for 6 months, and it beat me up, just the frequency of lifting a week. But it's not necessary to really do anything. Peaking is something that is strength-specific. So if you want to test your 1 rep max, and honestly, very few people talk enough about peaking when it comes to strength. There's an off season, there's a peaking season, and a peaking program is best to use when you want to test your 1 rep max, even if it's a 4-week peak, right? So you don't need to do that stuff. But if you're going to test your 1 rep max, it's probably best to do it wisely with at least a 4 to 6 week peak. But blocks and that, The average lifter, no. None of this stuff has value. I mean, it really doesn't. Because here's the thing. You get your dumbbell bench press to 100s for 3 sets of 10. You get your bench press up to, 275 for 5. You get your lifts in that range. Your squats, 315 by 10. You're about at 90%. And from there, a lot of it's just staying safe, healthy. You built a lot of muscle already. If your end goal is to get as ridiculously strong as possible, then yes, you should try some of these things. But I got to 98% of my strength levels doing nothing but other than sheer will and Tina's Red Hot Burritos. No, mostly it was ramen noodles and tuna back in my lean days, when I didn't have a lot of money. Sam, can I get sets of workout 4 days a week? Can you get away with it? Yeah. There might be a possibility of junk volume in there. That's a little bit high. But then again, if you go in and do your compound movements and then you're adding like forearm work and calf work and ab work and a lot of less intense stuff, it really depends on the program. So we'd have to see the program, but that's a little bit that's running a little bit hot, if you know what I'm saying. So, Robert, have you ever run a program without junk volume that was that many sets of workout? I personally would end up being in the gym 2.5 hours at least.
I mean, I think the most sets I've done in a workout is probably around like 24, 25, and that was like in my early days of training when I was doing P90X, like when I first started getting into resistance training stuff, because all of those workouts basically have between 20 and 24 sets of workouts. So like the chest and back routine was 12 sets of different push-ups and presses and 12 sets of different 12 sets of pull-up variations and rows. So I think it's that, but I mean, I wouldn't do 24 sets. I couldn't handle 24 sets of just pure compound movements in a given workout. Like I can't do 12 sets of different bench presses, putting a high amount of effort in, taking each of them relatively close to failure. And same thing with, I can't do 12 sets of pull-ups and dumbbell rows all the way to fatigue. I'd have to put in some kind of like fly movement, like a back fly, a chest fly, or something like that. Doing that hard, high volume. If you're doing something like shoulders and arms, yeah, you can probably do 24 sets of that, and that's going to be no problem at all. But shit, man, I don't want to do 25 sets on legs. Fuck that.
Sometimes in the middle of a workout, if the stars are aligned, I would do like 5 sets of seated cable rows, 5 sets of leg or lat pull downs, sometimes 5 sets of machine presses. Sometimes I'd do 8 sets of leg extensions. Sometimes I'd run the rack on dumbbells. Sometimes I would add sets just because I was feeling that extra energy.
Yeah.
But sustain, from a sustainability standpoint, I find it hard to sustain volume and progression and the proper amount of lifting intensity. But mileage varies. I would have to look at the program and how your progression is going.
Exactly.
I think we went over that one.
Yep.
Do you need to feel the muscle work? No. You do not ever need to feel the muscle work. With that said, I don't want to be just give you a random blanket statement. There is good form and there is control and there is things you need to do to maximize muscle building. For example, on a back exercise, you just don't lift the weight. You have to I focus on driving the shoulder and the elbow back at the same time. I equate it to an MMA strike behind you. You're going to generate power by driving the shoulder and elbow back in concert. So there are some things I do. Like if you're when you move to machines and isolation exercises, I want people to more feel that muscle working, because form is not critical. But do you need to do that if you have proper form in play? No, you don't. You just need a good combination of proper form, and you need progressive overload, and that's about it. There's some cases where I like to feel a muscle working. So, Robert, any thoughts on that?
No, I mean you pretty much got everything I was going to say, Steve.
I mean, you don't need to. Well, like Tom Platz, I'm sure Tom Platz didn't always worry about feeling his quads on squats, that sort of thing. So Just use common sense with it.
Yeah.
Don't elevate it above where it should be. Bulk supplements for us, no. I mean, one thing we're going to run into with a new supplement line is, and don't take this the wrong way, any of you, and certainly not Josh, but like we don't have, we don't have a big company. This is just two guys self-funding, and we have to keep our product line streamlined. If you watch a show like Shark Tank, you often see them talk about, why are you trying to sell 5 things, prove that you can sell 1. So right now we're trying to do proof of concept that we can sell 1. And if we can sell 1, we'll sell 2.
Yeah, slowly make it organically grown. We're not going to take on a bunch of angel investors or anything like that, or sell out to a company or anything. So I don't imagine us doing something generic, because there's a ton of great companies that just offer bulk supplements right now. Like Nutricost is a great one on Amazon. Bulk Supplements is another great seller on Amazon that just does bulk ingredients. I use them regularly. I recommend them to people. But what we're trying to do with the Massive Iron line is do something kind of cool and unique with these ingredients. Put them together in different ways. Put them, give a little bit more premium package. So if you're somebody that's looking for just a bulk creatine powder, they have tons of great companies out there. Nutricost, Bulk Supplements are 2 super high quality, very affordable options for that. What we're trying to do is take the basics, but then find some other cool ingredients to add to it to kind of like raise the bar on what we can do with just supplements in general, and kind of attack things from a few different mechanisms and pathways.
So Josh, I want to apologize if you were just asking, bulk supplements in general, like which companies. Sometimes, we mess up our comments, so I apologize. Guys, just a reminder, if you go over to Stack 3D, we got an hour left, so keep the comments coming, or post up the questions. Stack 3D is running our Massive Iron, Massive Creatine. And if you go over to that page, it's STACK 3D. At the bottom, they have a comment section. We have 9 comments. If we get 10, I'm going to give away a Massive Iron t-shirt to one of the people that comment. And I'm also going to give away all my books for free on PDF. If we get 20 comments, I'm going to give you my Advil. I'm going to give you my used Kleenex, blowing my nose, that is, for reference, all the junk in my office, and, all that good stuff. So seriously, we appreciate you guys' comments, and we're almost to 10, so keep them coming. Where are we? Here we are. Modern Stoic. I think my squat is plateauing hard at 151 kilograms. It hasn't moved in 3 months. That's kind of, people ask me about plateaus. That's kind of the warning, red flag area where you haven't added a rep in 3 months. So not a lot I could do without looking under the hood at the numbers and the workouts, your weight, your nutritional consistency. Robert, I'm gonna go off topic for a second. Mm-hmm. Somebody was talking to me today, a client, Daniel, about how it's very rare to reach your natural potential, and it is very rare. But I mentioned to him, everyone I've met that is naturally added a lot of muscle mass, they are impeccable when it comes to consistency. Excuse me, with nutrition and with their workouts. They're like robots with their level of dedication. Mm-hmm. They don't do this up and down roller coaster thing. They're like nail it, live it. So just a point to think about. All righty, what do we got here? Did I miss anything? Should style be mixed in often or stick to one for a while before moving on? I don't know if you're talking about deadlifts or another lift, so maybe you can clarify. This is usually talked about a lot in reference to deadlifts.
Right.
For the average individual, my honest opinion is get VersaGrip Pros and do double overhand. The over-under style, there's too many sloppy deadlifts, and what happens with the underarm is that we tend to not deadlift with it straight, and you create a chain reaction of doom. So if you got that down, I'm okay with it. If we're talking deadlifts, I want to see you doing double overhand with straps or VersaGrips. And if you want to rotate under over, left and right, that's fine. Just make sure your form is good. Batiste, how do we find inexpensive home gym things like plates, bars, packs?
That's the $1 million question. Good luck with that.
Look, I'll start with plates. Forget about it, right? Forget it. Titan Fitness is my go-to. The last year when I want something, I go there, and if they don't have it, they generally get it in within a month or 6 weeks. Plates, though, man, plates are like the most expensive thing. Titan is on it, though. They ship quick. They got good equipment for the value. And see this plate-loaded lat tower? I ended up getting one for $50 less from TDS, and it came in broken. So I strayed from Titan Fitness, went to TDS or New York Barbells, and got hit in the old proverbial pouch or Ruski. So I would go over to Titan Fitness. Let's say what do you want? Bars, okay. Let's go over to Titan Fitness. Strength, barbells. Boom. Watch this magic. In stock, the economy barbell, 109 bones. Okay. Olympic Technique bar, 15 kilogram, a lighter bar women could use, 85 bones. So they got some stuff. What do we got for benches? Where would benches be here? Plates, maybe under benches. Look at this sexy critter. 119 for a flat bench, 125 for an incline. Pretty good price for the value for what you're getting. So Titan Fitness, I do have an affiliate link with them, but I never use it, so I get no cash from them. Best tasting EAAs, it's got to be Jerry Ward's. Isn't it?
Please, you're gonna make me punch the screen. You're gonna make me punch the screen saying that shit. Oh man, there's a lot of good tasting EAAs out there. Primeval Labs, Innova Farm, Apollo Nutrition, Glaxon's EAAs are really good too. I have not tried the EAAs from Core Nutritionals, but I know their flavoring tends to be pretty spot on. ProSups used to have some pretty good tasting EAAs. I haven't had theirs in a couple of years though. Is that it? As far as EA strict formulas, yes. Although SteelFit makes a pretty good BCAA tasting formula. Their lemon lime is awesome.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've back in the day, like 12 years ago, I ran into Doug Miller, like his 405 by 20 set on deadlifts, and I've interviewed him over the years and did podcasts with him over the years, and he stopped by Tiger Fitness a few times, and I've been at the Tiger Fitness booth with him. But I've always been pleasantly surprised at how his product line is grown and evolved and just the quality of standards that they use. I don't know necessarily that they're the best quality in the industry, but I've always been with the way Doug handles himself. I've always been impressed. Have you had him on your podcast, Robert?
Yeah, I had him on there and his Chief Science Officer, Kenton Engel. I've had both of them on the podcast on separate occasions, both super knowledgeable, very generous guys with their time and information. Core makes some really, really top-notch products. I have no qualms, whatever, recommending their line of stuff. They use top quality. Their formulations are really solid, and they're both just good guys.
I think they had a protein flavor that was like peanut butter ice cream or something once. I forget the flavor. But I remember trying that and going, this is the best tasting protein powder I've ever tasted. I just want to eat the whole jug.
Yeah.
And
they're really, really top good guys there.
It's funny when I think back of all the times I've been with Doug, podcasted at booths, all this. And it's like my brain sometimes can't fathom how many times I've met or interacted with people. It's a function of being old, I made a video about Pete Rubish last week, and like how many times I've seen him at the Arnold or at meets or whatever. Like It just blows my mind how many times I've interacted with some of these people.
Yeah.
What's the best joint supplement, Roberto?
This one right here.
He's got the cocaine.
That is the Apollon joint formula that I've been working on for a couple months now, and the flavoring is finally approved. We taste tested 2 flavors. We've got a OMG orange mango grapefruit flavor and a pomegranate lemonade flavor. So we're going to give the manufacturer the okay on that. We had to remove the paractin, which was so horrifically bad tasting that it completely killed the flavor. So we removed that ingredient, put in another ingredient that has some analgesic and anti-inflammatory effects, and actually made the flavoring much more palatable. Also helped save on cost a little bit for the end consumer, which was good. So that will be coming to Apollon's site soon. And then I'm also working on a joint formula for Steve as well with our massive iron line. That is in the works, but that's going to be further off. The Apollon joint formula will be hitting shelves much more quickly than the massive iron one is, unless people buy 1,000 units of our creatine, and then we can roll straight into the joint formula from that. But outside of those 2, Animal Flex is pretty good. I like SNS Joint Support XT a lot. Orthogen by Morphogen Nutrition is a really solid joint formula as well. You could also look up some bulk ingredients like SNS Cissus XT or Nova Farms Superior Cissus or Super Cissus. All of those are really solid as well.
So I was looking at their website and I saw Chainsaw, and it reminded me of the new Wrong Turn movie. There's a new Wrong Turn. Have you seen the original Wrong Turn?
I have not.
Wrong Turn 1. Henry Rollins, I believe, is in Wrong Turn 2. But we watched this the other night, and they took basically the premise is a wrong turn, and they meet all these weird hicks that are just, slaughter them. But they took this, they rebooted it, and we didn't like it at all. We stopped the movie after like 45 minutes and decided to clip our toenails instead. Not really, but that's how boring the movie was.
Did they try to turn? No, I'm not even going to broach that subject. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Yeah, I don't say anything. TJ, thank you for the donation. Sometimes I even forget that that's available on this platform, but we sincerely appreciate it. Any advice for people who have to train first thing in the morning due to a busy schedule? Well, the biggest thing I have to say is your central nervous system doesn't really hit its peak stride until later afternoon, I believe the research says.
Yeah, sometime between like 3 to 5 p.m.
So you might have to do a couple extra warm-up sets before the big lifts just to make sure you're physically and mentally ready to go. I'll also say I think it's a good idea to get your training over if you have a busy schedule before the day starts, because if you're like me at the end of the day, and I've processed 300 messages from clients and Instagram, and then I got to go run for 2 hours. And it's harder to get in a workout when you're torched at the end of the day, when you're done. So I think it's a good idea to do that if you have a busy schedule. As far as food, which is your primary question, when I was in the military, I lifted in the morning. I didn't do a lot. I would slam like a half protein shake and a half banana. You could also take something like Honey Stinger, which is a chewy you can get on Amazon. It's like 130 calories, just some simple sugars, right? Easy to digest, not big, but just a little kick in the pouch. I would sometimes take a caffeine tablet and a Honey Stinger. Some of the Honey Stinger flavors, like I believe it's the lemonade, have caffeine in them. So you could just gobble those straight out of bed, have a little sugar, a little caffeine, and get to it. I don't like to eat a lot before I train to begin with. So morning workouts, you don't even have to do anything. Just make sure you got some water and you're sipping so you're hydrated, because when you wake up in the morning, that's usually when you're at your low point as far as water. Anything to add, Robert?
No, I mean, he's going to need to do a little bit of experimentation. I mean, he could do something as simple as like a serving of EAAs or like a whey protein shake. He could just do that with a banana, or just sip on it intra-workout. Like, you don't have to have anything. Your glycogen stores are going to be topped off, provided you had some kind of carbohydrate-rich meal before you went to bed. So glycogen availability won't be the limiting factor. It's more about just, waking yourself up, getting your central nervous system firing. So, I mean, if keeping food down is at that time is inconvenient, then just maybe sip on some aminos or, a whey protein shake, or just have something immediately after training. You don't necessarily have to have something. Just give it experiment with a few different options, like run one way for a week and see how that works, and then rotate to something else and then see how that works, and you'll figure it out.
Thank you, Robert. I was looking at this. I'm going to get to the question. Congrats on the creatine. Sounds great. Thank you, Shake Master. Appreciate it. Looking at this is something I've been thinking about for a while. Like, shakers aren't that costly to make, and there's no drop shipper that I can make a shaker with in my existing store. So I've been thinking about ordering 50, just for the hell of it. I mean, everybody has a billion shakers, and the world doesn't need another shaker. But I was thinking about maybe doing 50 of the massive iron ones for fun. So, Robert, do you know anybody or any connections of people that make them?
I can talk to our manufacturer for the massive iron line, see if they're doing that. I don't know if they are, but I'll reach out to them and see.
I get a lot of inquiries from companies in China, and I don't know the people, so I don't like to do business with people I don't know.
Exactly.
And I'm not about to fly to China to check their quality control standards. Or fly anywhere. It doesn't have to
make sure you're not getting any BPA leaching into your shaker cups or anything like that.
Will, late but made it. Congrats and lots. Thank you, Will. And that is one epic plastic whale picture that you have there. That's awesome. I do a Fran on a CrossFit channel. I would like to know how his shoulders are after convulsing on that pull-up bar. A female fitness, it doesn't really matter that she's female. I'm just describing what I saw. But I saw a female fitness person doing these walkie weirdo, whatever they call them, CrossFit pull-ups. And I was waiting for the bicep to snap, And I don't know. I just don't know. Why push yourself like that? How the heck do you balance a program? It's like setting up an offensive play in the NFL. You just get it after a while. You get it after a while. It was like becoming an editor. I started writing, and then one day I woke up and I'm like, I'm an editor. I can see the matrix. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. One day you wake up and you can see the matrix. That's the best way I can equate it. Robert, did you ever have one of those experiences where you work hard at something in life, and then you wake up one day and you realize, I'm in the matrix. I can see the matrix. I understand it at a deeper level.
Yep. Yeah, very, very much so. Whether it's kind of like with writing program, like in addition to all the supplement stuff, I've written training programs for different sports nutrition companies, websites, and all that. And like you start to get a phrase of how it is, how it's designed, or like when I'm blocking out articles or guides, like you understand there's a specific, rhythm and flow to everything, and you can kind of just get into it. But that only comes with total immersion into a subject matter. Like you can only achieve that if you're just dabbling in something. You're not going to achieve that. You've got to basically dive in head first and just, live in that little area for hours and hours and hours and weeks and months on end.
Yeah, I mean, I've been studying workouts for 36 years now, directly or indirectly. I got books, everything from Doug Hepburn's workout to just general fitness workouts. And whenever I look at one, I'm looking at it for cracks or breaks or imbalances or whatever.
Yep.
Big Mama, could you repeat the website to comment on? I did, but for anybody that is looking, please head over to Stack 3D, STACK 3D. They have an article from us, and we sincerely appreciate them supporting us, who are the little guys. So we would appreciate you supporting them with a comment.
And that's what I like about Shane over there. So he's one of my co-hosts on the Final Scoop podcast on Saturdays. But I mean, regardless of how big or how little your brand is, whether you're new or old, he gives equal traction to all the brands. Like he doesn't play favorites on his site. There's a lot of other supplement coverage sites that will only put content up on you if you're willing to pay them like $500 for a blog post. Shane does it just across the board. Whatever kind of information he comes across, he's one of the hardest working guys in the industry and just super, super honest, really, really good guy for the industry that does a damn good job of covering all the information on the industry.
I'm just searching something in for a future question, so just hold on one second. All right. Not going to lie, you can't pay me to take the vaccine. I'd rather be naturally selected. I don't want to take a vaccine either. I really don't. I mean, I'm healthy. I run 800 hours a week. I'm in the low risk class. I sit in my office all day away from people. There's really no reason. I'm not going to give it to my dog. So, and all right, Fight Club. Yes, good movie. I want to fight the buff guy. Had good luck. Does taking finasteride for hair loss affect muscle growth? Is this I searched this. This is a prescription drug? This is out of Propecia. Does it affect muscle growth? No, not at all. I mean, the things that impact muscle growth are your drive, your dedication to a program, your nutrition, your consistency. Even guys with low testosterone can build quite a bit of muscle. So this is going to have no impact whatsoever on muscle growth. Excuse me. Nerds, who wants to fight? You know what this is? This is called
the band hammer.
This is called the block user. See you later. See you on the other side. Where are we? Viking Fitness BR. Made most of my gains on a well-structured bro split. Got away from it. Now I'm back on it after watching your video. I love bro splits, and I'm going to call them pro splits. I love them. I just love them. I just love doing them. I hate full body workouts. They take too long. I want to focus. I want laser focus. I want laser beam eyes. I just like them. A lot of my clients have A/B splits. Some of them have full body. A lot of them have push-pull legs. Nothing against that stuff. I just like training this way. King it 854. Name a few tunes that every lifting playlist should have. Robert, every lifting playlist. Can you well, there's like my go-tos. There's a couple go-tos I have, but Robert, what are the big go-tos? Like you got to have the Rocky theme on there, right?
My heart will go on, Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Robert, go fuck yourself.
Careless Whisper, Unchained Melody.
Yeah, Flock of Seagulls. I ran. Actually, I used to have. I ran by the Flock of Seagulls on my playlist because it's.
Rocky 4. Just put Rocky 4 on there. So Hearts on Fire. No Easy Way Out. I fucking love No Easy Way Out, especially when I'm doing blocks of walking lunges. There's no fucking way to deal with that better than that. What else? I put some Van Halen stuff on there. Jump. What else is on there? I got a bunch of other things on there. I'm trying to remember. I've got some Motley Crue stuff on there. Kickstart My Heart's a good one to always put in there. I like classic rock and a little bit of the 80s rock. I don't like death metal or alternative stuff. I mean, rap, no, I don't really do much of that. I mean, I can tolerate it, but hip-hop, some like the 90s hip-hop stuff I can do. But I'm almost always a classic rock guy. Zeppelin, Van Halen, AC/DC, all of that kind of good stuff.
I'm trying to find something here. Like when I competed in the UPA, was I would compete with guys like Paul Carter would be there, Pete Rubish, Alila Bridges, Marshall Johnson, all those kind of guys. And I think this was the song that I used to. Let's see if this gets us flagged. There was one off South of Heaven. I can't remember. Who knows? I'm too old. I could. There's a couple that I could dig up. But Slayer in there. Slayer is always. on my playlist. Exodus, Creator. There's some other things. Tool, A System of a Down. That's always stuff I always had on mine. When you guys have taken over the world, can you work on a supplement for mind health boost? That'll be part of our world domination tour, I believe, right, Robert?
Absolutely. So I'm curious, Neil, can you elaborate on what you mean by mind health? Do you mean something like a nootropic to help you to increase productivity, or are you talking about stuff to maybe combat neuroinflammation, neuroprotection, reduce oxidative stress in the brain? So that's two different sets of ingredients that we'd be dealing with. One's going to be more of like an antioxidant-based thing like blueberry extract, acetyl-L-carnitine, stuff to increase cerebral blood flow, whereas the mental performance, and so mind health, are we talking like long-term cognitive health and neuroprotection, or are you talking like productivity? So it's two different kind of ingredients in there. We'd probably first release down the line a nootropic, so a mental performance one. We might put some mind health ingredients in there as well, since most nootropics have to have some kind of neuroprotective or neurogenerative benefits to them, just as that's one of the defining characteristics of what a nootropic is. It has to do something to promote cognitive health. But yeah, we would definitely do that, because that is, out of all the supplements on the face of the earth, nootropics are kind of the one that get me the most excited and I spend the most time kind of diving into.
So I was thinking, as far as mind health, what product could we come up with where we could in the Matrix, what do they have? Take the green, what is it, the green pill or the red pill? Or
red pill or the blue pill?
Red pill or the blue pill? We need to come up with some sort of a mind supplement where you can take the blue pill if you need this, you can take the red pill if you need this.
I like that.
All right.
Let's do that.
We can call it Massive Matrix.
Sweet. Massive mind matrix, mental matrix?
Mind matrix. And you can take the red pill if you want this for your brain. You can take the blue pill if you want this. There you go.
There we go.
There's our deep formulation meeting. Meeting adjourned.
I'll be sending an invoice to everybody tuning in on the live feed for the consult just now too.
It's actually a good idea. I mean, let's just do it. We'll come up with two brain health formulas. All right, for multi, I'd prefer just swallowing a pill. So we asked whether you guys would prefer a pill or a flavored powder. So we appreciate you guys weighing in. We're going to take this into consideration. Justin, best way to get magnesium, vitamin K, and zinc, multivitamin or through nutrition? I'm going to let you lead the dance on this one, Robert.
I mean, always, I live and breathe in the supplement world, but everything, it's always rooted in a healthy diet. So good quality nutrition is the preferred way to get all that in. That being said, a lot of people, sometimes you're on the go, you don't have time to eat, 3, 4, 5 high quality meals all in a day, or just some people just don't like certain foods and they don't get in enough during the day. So that's where a multivitamin comes into play and can help you do that. So yeah, I would say nutrition first always, and then throw in the multivitamin as that little extra on top, just to make sure you've got all your, your bases shored up and whatnot like that. So one other thing to consider about, especially with vitamin K, is that most K1 is the form that's most often found in foods, and the body can convert K1 into K2, but it's not a very efficient process. It's analogous to converting the plant form of omega-3s into the animal-based form. So converting the ALA into EPA and DHA, it's a very, very low, inefficient process. Somewhere between like 5 to 20% is only converted. And, genetic factors play into that to a certain degree and individuality. And the same thing holds with vitamin K. K1 is readily available in a bunch of different food sources. K2 isn't as bioavailable, or it isn't as readily available in the foods that you would normally get vitamin K through in the diet. So that's why you see the vitamin D3, K2 stacks in there. And we're also using vitamin K2, that form, as the menaquinine in the massive multi that we'll be releasing.
Thank you, Robert. Frank Fitness, very best of luck with your supplement line. I can't wait to try. Frank is in the UK. I'll see if I can cross when I come to Wales. I'll see if I can put a couple tubs in there.
And one of our insiders as well.
What's that?
He's one of these insiders as well on the forum.
Correcto. Adam Price, if multivitamin were a powder or dissolvable, similar to Airbond or Emergen-C, I would be 100% in. So we're gonna see. Appreciate the feedback. B-Dub, order 2 tubs. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Should I take the creatine pre-workout? We jumped on this one early. And Robert, let's go to. We're going to have to add a frequently asked questions because this product's a little bit different to the page. So keep the questions coming. But you touched on this earlier, Robert.
The overarching thing is to take it every day. That's the most important thing when it comes to creatine supplementation, these ATP boosting ingredients, just consistency in taking it each and every day. That being said, if you want to make things a little bit more optimal, you put it into the immediate pre-workout or the immediate post-workout period to support ATP production, ATP regeneration, glycogen replenishment, blood sugar levels, all that good stuff.
So Dave Argentino, he's an insider as well. And if you're curious about the insider plan, go over to superlivingtoday.com. It's only $24.99 a month. You get access to the app, the private forum. You get all my books for free on PDF, and basically you get micro coaching, me in a box, and Robert in a box. Dave, I got a brilliant idea popped into my mind when seeing this. I'm still working through the 1 kilogram of creatine from bulk subs. Epic Mealtime. I would like you to make the ultimate epic mealtime protein bar with using 1 kilogram of creatine and then eat it on video.
Ooh, that would hurt.
Just made me think of epic mealtime.
Going to spend a lot of time in the bathroom after that one.
What's the difference between stim and pump ingredients? Robert, I'm going to go take a leak. I'm going to let you hammer this one home. See if I can get back before you're done.
Safe travel, Steve. The big difference between stim and pump ingredients is that the stimulant ingredients stimulate the central nervous system, where pump ingredients improve blood flow, combat the angiotensin converting enzyme, which is an enzyme in the body that constricts blood vessels. So pump ingredients enhance nitric oxide production, increase cell volume. So ingredients like taurine, glycerol, betaine all act as osmolytes, where it encourages your cells to soak up more water. Ingredients like nitrosogene and citrulline increase plasma arginine levels in the body, which arginine is the amino acid the body uses to synthesize nitric oxide. So by having higher levels of arginine in the blood, you're going to get more potent, more steady, higher elevations of nitric oxide levels in the blood. Ingredient vasodrive AP combats the ACE enzyme, as I was mentioning earlier. So ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme, is one that shrinks your blood vessels. So by inhibiting that, you're going to get wider open pipes so you can push more blood flow through to that there. Stimulants like caffeine, DMAA, DMHA, hordenine, synephrine, all those other fun ones that you see, those stimulate the central nervous system. So they either antagonize adenosine receptors, where adenosine is a neurotransmitter that causes feelings of lethargy and fatigue. Well, they'll inhibit the binding of that. They can also increase the release of dopamine and norepinephrine, which is part of the mood, motivation, focus, excitement that you get from that. So that's the biggest difference. Stims stimulate the central nervous system to make you feel more alert, awake, excited, happy. Pump ingredients increase blood flow, water retention within the muscle cells, and other vasodilating properties.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for I relieved myself. I think I'm batting only like 127. Like, that's the amount of times we do a live where I have to get out. Keep the questions coming, guys, as you guys have questions. Dungeons and Dumbbells, have to go to work. Have a good day. Don't work too hard. Is it better to have like a push A and push B, so you do 4 exercises in 1 week for chest, or can you stick to, in my opinion, it's better to do more exercises. Get a little variety. Variety is never a bad thing for hypertrophy, and it's never a bad thing for, just mentally doing something different. And you're not overworking the same movement patterns over and over and over again. So anything to add to that, Robert?
Nope. You got it all.
Dave, 3. I'm choking on a dog here. Sorry. 3 decent found footage movies. Troll Hunter. Never made it through that one because that one gave me motion sickness. Poughkeepsie Tapes and As Above, So Below. As Above, So Below, I've watched. That's a really good movie. Have you seen that one, Robert?
I've seen it on the list of movies available to me on, I don't know if it was Netflix, Amazon, or like Tubi TV or something like that. I've just never watched it.
So I'm going to search this one. Poughkeepsie Tapes. We'll put that. We'll check that out tonight. because it gets a 67 Rotten Tomatoes, Dave. That's good, solid. Caleb, will taking creatine during a cut hinder progress? No. It actually make you, if anything, it has the potential to make you look better, because the muscle retention or the water retention is going to be in your muscles. Robert, you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, if you're looking at when you're cutting, you're cutting fat. So creatine does not inhibit fat loss to any degree. It will help you keep up your strength levels and your performance during your cut. It'll help you recover a little bit faster. It might still help you retain a little bit of fullness, since creatine retains water intramuscularly. So it's not subcutaneous water where it's going to make you look puffy and bloated. It's storing the muscle within the muscle cells and within the muscle belly. So no, it's not going to hinder your cut on a progress. Now, if you're doing like a pure water cut, like if you're a wrestler or something trying to make weight, you might want to cut out creatine. But even still, then I don't think that the sacrifice of the 1 or 2 pounds that creatine is going to do is worth the performance trade-offs.
I get a lot of questions from from clients and non-clients. I'm on a cut. I jumped on creatine. My weight spiked a little bit. I'm panicked. Like we always have to remember that we are after body composition, better body composition through fat loss. And anything that is not fat gain is not to be feared. The scale is not the be all end all. So just remember that.
Correct.
Scotty Mack, Ireland is beautiful. You like the Scottish Highlands, so you love Ireland. Good to know. Scotland was like the trip of a lifetime. We went there in January, just off season, roamed around, not a lot of people there. Just ran in some amazing places and saw some amazing things, just jumping fences and going places. And man, I don't even know how to describe it. So I can't imagine how beautiful Ireland is. So we look forward to that. I do full body every other day. 4 sets each per workout. Is this a decent amount of volume? Squats, deads, bench, close grip, curl, pull up, upright row, calf raise. Okay, so you got the chest. You got there's no shoulders in there. Where's the shoulders?
Upright row, maybe?
Yeah, man, you gotta get on, dump the upright row, and you need a overhead press, dumbbell or barbell. You need it. You simply need it for shoulder girdle health, and you got to train your shoulders equally to everything else. You got your deadlifts and you got your pull-ups. You have no row in there, though. You need a horizontal row. Dumbbell rows, barbell rows, even an inverted row would be an upgrade. So decent amount of volume. Let's set the volume aside a little bit and look at balance first. Honestly, use one of my programs. Trying to rework one of these is like, just use one of mine. I mean, I got so many free programs on the net, and head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. You'll find better full body workouts, but you need to add a horizontal row. You need to have an overhead press. And you're doing a lot of barbell work. So I probably consider adding in some extra body weight work, some lunges, maybe some Bulgarian split squats, maybe some dips, maybe some push-ups. And don't be tethered to 4 sets per workout. That's a lot of work. Anything to add, Robert?
No, I mean, I would probably undulate between like an A and B full body workout or an A, B, and C full body workout and divide some of those up, because that's what, 20 sets you're doing? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 36 sets in a workout. That's a lot of freaking work.
What I would do is take squats one day on A, deadlifts one day on B, and that would be the cornerstone. And then you would do like squats and bench to start off, and deadlifts and overhead press to start off. And, you could still work in a chest exercise on each day. It could be a lighter chest exercise like dips or push-ups. But, that's how I would start. And that's a lot of volume. If you're going to do a full body workout, doing 4 sets per compound movement per workout, I kind of get the sense that you're doing – the focus isn't as much on progression as it should be, because if it was, that would torch you pretty quickly. Kushman, last week I asked about a weight loss plateau, and you mentioned counting calories. I actually started counting calories as well as working out. I'm losing weight again. That's good to hear. You got to have the baseline. Got to know what's going in your gape hole. Robert, I'm going to let you start the dance on this one because, I've weighed in on this a lot. Do you think RPE and reps in reverse are toxic? I don't like the word toxic there, but good, bad concepts for new lifters.
I think it is getting them I think it is distracting their focus from where it should be, and that's maximizing each set, learning proper technique, and all of those things. As a new lifter, you don't need to be focused on, hey, am I 3 reps from failure? Should I only train to 4 reps from failure this week? Am I 1 rep from failure? Trying to go for those benchmarks. As a new lifter, you just need to be concerned with quality of execution, consistency, and pushing each set for as many quality reps as possible. Then when you get to like the intermediate, late intermediate, advanced stages, then you can maybe start doing some of this volume cycling, the volume ramping, messing around with RPE and RIR and stuff. But for the novice lifter, even the early intermediates, I don't really think they need it. They don't have any sense really bothering with that. They're wasting mental resources trying to figure that out when they should just be focused on lifting.
Well, what's the value of stopping a set 3-4 reps short of failure? I mean, it's a junk set at the end of the day, and everything works in so I understand that. But for a beginner, I'm 35 years into the game. And I don't know how many 3-4 reps I have. It depends on the exercise. Who gives a fuck? I mean, I dislike these concepts. I know they sound good but for a beginner, no, you should never need this stuff. You don't know if you're 3 reps shy of failure.
Yep.
The problem here I have with this, and I'm going to be honest, is, when I train with folks that aren't making the results they want, which are 90% of us, let's be honest here, 90% nowhere near where you want to be. And that's not a slam. I just want to help you get to where you want to be. But when I train with you in the gym, you have a lot more in the tank than you think. That's the core here with these strategies. I had a guy come to me 3 years ago and trained with me and my wife, Tony. He came to the Tiger Fitness gym. It was a client. This is just one example. And Tony's been lifting. He was mid-40s, been lifting for 20 years, and his muscle, not where he wanted it to be. So he came into the gym, and we did bench press. And then after one set of dumbbell bench press, he was like doing the tap out on the elbow. I'm like, no, we're just getting started. We're just getting started with a quality workout. Yeah. And he got into the groove and did 3 sets of 10 on dumbbell bench, and we got over to cable tricep extensions, and my wife was doing more than him. I'm like, come on, man, step it up. Most people need a heavy dose of step it up than they do RIR or RPE.
Agreed.
Because you guys are capable of a lot more than you think. You just kind of get to a certain point where you're like, you treat progression like it's going to kill you. So from my experience, most people need a big, healthy dose of step it up, not RIR. Yeah. Alberto, I could really use that Advil. Man, that's like my staple, especially in 2020, 2021. My staple supplement. Beef, I bought 450 pounds of plates, Titan bench, and squat rack, and a rogue bar in 2018. You got in early because right now plates are like gold. Yeah. I need a couple 10-pounders for this gym, and they want like a testicle. Like, nah, I'm good.
Kettlebells, surprisingly, they're fairly cheap right now. I mean, I got 2 brand new ones, 2 55s and 2 45s for about $1.39 a pound. And since we, with Sandy's health insurance thing, we get free money, like free gift cards to Amazon for so many points logged with like steps and exercise activities level. So I got 300 pounds worth of kettlebells for basically $15. All I had to do was pay some taxes on it, and I got that, which was pretty sweet.
It's a good deal. One of these days I'm going to get kettlebells because I've been saying that for years, just as something to play around with.
I've been messing around with them for the past week and a half, and I'm all kinds of sore, especially on like my low back and hamstrings and like my glutes and everything. Fuck.
Robert, is intra-workout drink necessary, something like EAA, cluster dextrin?
For the average individual, no, it is not necessary. If you're finding that you do need an intra-workout supplement, I would tend to look at what is your nutrition like the rest of the day, because most of us are only working out 45 to 60, maybe 70 minutes. And a lot of that time you're not actually working out, you're resting in between sets. So you have more than enough blood sugar and liver glycogen, muscle glycogen to power you through a regular resistance training session. If you're an endurance athlete or a high, like a high school, college athlete that's going for 75, 90, 120 minutes, then yeah, some intra-workout nutrition will be really beneficial. But if for like the average Jimmys and Joes and Janes out there, if you have a carbohydrate-rich breakfast or something like that, no, you don't need to waste money on an intra-workout supplement. That being said, if you're somebody that suffers from a low appetite or have enough trouble getting enough calories in, the intra-workout period is a good time where you can kind of sneak in some liquid calories, since those aren't as filling as whole food supplements are. But just if you're just looking to like maximize muscle growth and do really well in your training sessions, it's not necessary at all. And this is coming from somebody that has helped companies formulate intra-workout supplements, but for most people, no, you don't really need one.
If you're going to train longer, an hour and 15, and it's pretty intense, one thing I recommend is like something like honey stingers, and I've mentioned this earlier. You can get them. We just ordered more last night. They're like 130 calories. If you're going to be training long or doing endurance or cardio after lifting or whatever, maybe 15 minutes in, like a honey stinger or something like this probably isn't a bad idea if you can afford the calories. Thoughts on BP?
Yeah, Bayer Performance Nutrition. I reviewed a couple of their products several years ago. I like their pre-workout. Their Nootropic, I remember not being overly nuts about. Let me pull it up real quick. The greens were not super great tasting at the time, but that was, that was 3 years ago. The flavoring may have changed by then. I know the guy is a military veteran, so that's always something that they use. Guys, I always like to support the vets. Let me look at their pre-workout real quick. 3.2 beta-alanine, 2.5 betaine, 2 grams of L-citrulline, that's on the low side. 1.5 of N-acetyl L-tyrosine, that's not too bad. 1 gram of taurine, 300 caffeine plus another 34 from Infinity dicaffeine malate, so you're getting around 325 there. 50 micrograms of huperzine. I mean, yeah, their pre-workout is decent from like an energy standpoint. You'd probably need to stack if you're looking for more pumps than anything, you'd need to stack their pump enhancer with it, which is, you've got 3 grams of citrulline in there, which is a nice dose. You got 1.5 grams of betaine nitrate, which is solid, and then 260 milligrams of Vasodrive AP, which is kind of like the bottom end of the dosing, where you could get away with some of the notable effects. Really, you want to go up to like 508 milligrams of Vasodrive AP. That's where you get enough of those lacto tripeptides to really get some vasodilating power. No, I mean, their products are solid there. It's transparently dosed and all of that stuff. It's good. There's some other brands I might recommend ahead of them, but if you like them or like what they're about, then there's no issues with their company whatsoever. It's good quality products there.
Thank you, Robert. We're gonna finish up our questions here. We got about a half an hour, so if you have any questions, get them in. They call Kips. Yep, I got you. Joe Rom, I CrossFit, but I won't Kip. Yeah, I'm not one of these guys that's like anti-CrossFit, like go to war. I don't care if it's – look, here's the issue with the attacks on CrossFit. They're coming from a group of people that can't fucking squat or deadlift to save their life, in the lifting world. And this is probably going to trigger somebody. But let's be real here. I mean, if we're going to go to war over CrossFit, about form, you better have your squat and deadlift squared away, because that's the higher, so if you don't have a bulletproof squat or deadlift, you know, zip it. That's all I have to say. And I have no issue. You know, it's a form of movement. There are some things inherently that I don't like, but you know what? I run, and I'm old and I'm big, and I run endurance, and that's not safe either. So I'd rather see somebody moving and doing something they like. I got clients at CrossFit. You know, just be safe and smart about it. All right. Did y'all see the UFO sighting out of Mexico? No, I did not. I'll have to Google that after we are done. Kips are absolute BS in my opinion. I don't like those at all, and I'm right there with you. I just think they're a train wreck. You know, I think they're a train wreck. Robert started this one. Careless Whisper gets me hyped AF.
Also look up Jitterbug or Wake Me Up Before You Go and Last Christmas. There you go. That's your top 3 for your lifting songs right there.
Yeah, you know what I like? What's the song? I bought a toothbrush, some toothpaste, a flannel for my face.
There you go.
You know what that one is?
I do. Here we go.
Yeah.
Come up with the ultimate playlist, the Massive Iron playlist.
Yeah. People like Big Hairy Ugly Dude's going to sing. Don't let me break out my secret altar life. People have no idea that I have like 8 albums out. There's a little teaser. Sebastian Rue, every lifting playlist needs the Doom BFG and the Schwarzer Dunst. I don't even know what language this is. This sounds like some German military marching music.
Well, Doom, like the BFG from Doom was the big fucking gun. That from like the first person shooter.
Okay.
That's what I'm assuming it is. I don't really know what Schwarzendust is or if that's something from like Rammstein or some other German band or something. I have no idea.
Kirsten Durst's husband or something.
Yeah.
Kirsten Durst's husband, the lifter Schwarzer Dunst.
Whatever happened to her anyway? She was in Spider-Man movies and then she kind of like disappeared off the face of the earth.
See her in a movie it's Durst, right?
Dunst. Yeah, Dunst.
Yeah. I thought I don't know. The picture that came up is scaring me though.
You gonna share it?
No, I'm not gonna share it. I don't want to scar anybody.
Too scary.
Yeah, I was like, where's her I don't know. Whatever. No one cares about her anyway. Rage Against the Machine, that's a good one as well. Never ever gonna give you up. Brick Isley?
Yep.
All right. Bonus points for the Big Hairy Ugly Dude. William Dusing. I left in an unheated. I lived in. It's been 2 hours. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
More caffeine.
I lived in an unheated garage. I've seen noticeable strength loss the colder it is. Is this normal? Like I know when you're cold, the blood tends to stay in the torso, chest area, and not in the extremities. I can imagine it could impact the central nervous system to a degree as well. But I don't know anything scientifically. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, I would assume it's probably more. I mean, it's mental. Like you're so focused on how cold it is that you're not able to, confer full mental efforts into lifting.
Neo says, as long as you're taking requests, how can I increase my manhood by 22 inches in 22 doses? Jeff Cavalier reference, increasing your arm size in 22 days. That went over well for him. So, yeah, I don't know. Alberto Rodriguez, definitely pill for multivitamin. I already throw like 4 powders into my shakes. It's funny, that we're coming to that. I used to just be sick of pills, but now we got so many powders.
Yeah.
We should just create like a what was the ultimate supplement back in 1986 that had everything in it? Something hot, something I don't know.
Ultimate Orange? No.
No, I can't remember what it is. It had every pixie dusted supplement in it in the world. They put everything in it and made it sound like
some kind of superfood.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it real quick. I'll put in 80s supplement hot. And it's hot stuff. Hot stuff, my goodness. Hot stuff from the 1980s. I'm like, oh, they still make it. Maximum strength formula, vanilla flavored. Back in the day, the hot stuff had like every ingredient in the world in it, like literally everything. I'm not even sure what's in it nowadays. Certainly not of value. Oh, wait, did I miss a question? Is it wise to exercise after eating dinner? Man, if you're gonna eat with a halfway like a normal, nah, dude, that's not a good idea.
No, I mean, plus like all the blood's rushing to your stomach for digestion. So if you go and try to do like some ball busting workout, all that blood and everything's still gonna be sitting there, and then it's got to get shunted to your muscle tissues. You're probably gonna end up throwing up. Now, if you just want to go on like a leisurely 10, 20, 30-minute walk around the neighborhood after you eat, yeah, sure, go ahead. That's good. Plus it's good for insulin sensitivity and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can exercise that way, but going like bust out like heavy deadlifts, squats, or doing some kind of like Metcon or interval training thing right after you eat, fuck no, not even no.
Now, one thing endurance running taught me is that there's a big penalty for trying to exercise when you have food in your stomach. It doesn't digest properly. The blood's in your muscles and trying to cool you and et cetera, and digestion becomes a secondary priority, and it can lead to a lot of discomfort, vomiting, et cetera. Dave, I think about the Epic Creatine bar, are there overdose effects? There's only one way to find out, Dave, only one way to find out.
You will be shitting your pants. I'll still save you the...
Please, no one try that. I don't want to be the instigator of doom. Jared, who are your favorite YouTubers for fitness? Robert, I'm going to let you start. Do you watch any YouTube right now?
That's about it. I mean, Steve, I watch Steve. I mean, I talk to Steve on a regular basis, so I don't watch all of his videos, all of that. I don't spend a lot of time on YouTube watching videos of stuff. I mean, Red Delta Project, I watch some of his stuff every now and then. I'll catch the occasional Athlean X video. But no, man, I don't spend a whole lot of time watching a lot of other content. I'm mostly listening to podcasts and things like that. There's a few bourbon channels. I'll watch reviews if like a new bourbon hits the market, or I'm watching one of their flight fights where they've lined up 4 or 5 different bourbons and they're trying them all in comparison. But that's about it. I like doing the research and stuff for myself. I'm not as nuts about, I've been subscribed to a few fitness channels over the years. I don't actually actively keep up and follow them. I've got other things I either work or other things I would like to unplug from and spend my time watching.
I'll say like I don't watch a lot. Occasionally, like once every 3 months, I'll go back and think like, is Jerry Ward still alive? Like, is so-and-so still alive? And I'll go check out their channel and, see what's going on. I'll show you guys my subscriptions if you really want to. There's a couple in here I'd like for you guys to follow. Because there's only a couple I actually give a rip about. If you see my subscriptions, can you see this bar over here?
Mm-hmm.
Subscriptions. This is I like playing out of the park baseball when I have free time, and this is just a channel I watch baseball. Greg Doucette, I'll check what he's doing. These are baseball ones. You can see Alan Roberts. I'll check in on Tiger Fitness. Loudwire is one of my favorite YouTube channels, and it's music related. A lot of times I'll just sit and talk about. They have this Wikipedia segment where they'll talk to metal bands, and they'll be like, "This is what your Wikipedia says. Is this true or not true?" And it's a really entertaining thing. I listen to that a lot when I'm running. Gary Robbins is my running coach. Here's one you guys should watch: Jeffrey Verity Schofield. Good lifting channel. One of the few I actually watch. Cage Performance, Kaj. He's been on here before. There's Robert, the supplement engineer. I stay tuned to Ryan Humiston to see what shenanigans he's up to. Sean Nalawani, I talk to occasionally on Instagram. I'm a big fan of his. And Alpha Destiny, I'm subscribed, but I don't really watch his at all anymore. Athlete Next, I like to tune in to see what he's doing. So beyond that world, I don't know. There's just too many. I don't really watch many of them. I just kind of take a peek every now and then to see what kind of shenanigans they're up to. Did you ever get a chance to meet Charles Poliquin? No. One of the few people I've never run into, you would think I've run into accidentally, but never have. I don't have a clue where he lives.
No, he's passed away. He
Oh.
died 2019, I think.
My apologies.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that, so I'm sorry. I'm old and my brain doesn't handle information well. Not sure how to count the volume. If I have 4 sets rows and 4 sets pull up, does that count as 4 or 8 sets? You count weekly volume when you're counting sets. So add up all the sets you do on a weekly basis, and that's your weekly volume. All right, Stein, on my back day and Bulldozer training, I do deadlifts, barbell row, and pull-ups. Do I hit my back muscles by doing this? That's a good, well-rounded approach, yes. You have a horizontal row, a vertical row, and or vertical pull, and a deadlift. So that's a good base. How can I do a vertical pull at home? The dumbbell pullover, I struggle with that one because I tend to feel my triceps more. You can feel your chest. It's really an odd compound movement.
Yeah.
I don't consider it a vertical pull. One of the things I have done is get bands and sit on the ground and do band pull downs, like lat pull downs. You can, but that's not the best. I would do those in groupings of 100s to get some back work. You can do if you have a barbell, you can do almost vertical inverted rows. Those are a good option. If you don't have any bands or you don't have a barbell, you're pretty much in trouble. Any thoughts, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, are you able to purchase a doorway pull-up bar? Perhaps get one of those. I mean, those things are only like $30 or $40. That's an option. If you have a really sturdy tree out in your backyard, you can go do pull-ups that way. Or buy the NOSK suspension trainer, NOSSK, which I've talked about that. I don't get any. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get any affiliations there. I bought one here early 2020. Throw that around a tree. You can hang it from anything. You can do vertical pulling, horizontal pulling. You can also do chest flies, all that kind of stuff. I took that when I was in Georgia a couple of weeks ago. I threw that sucker around a tree and was doing pull-ups with the NOSK trainer, which was a lot of fun. So those are a couple of options if you can. They're very, very affordable. I mean, we're talking $30, $40 at most.
All right. Thank you, Robert. Hey, just a note. We reached 10 comments on Stack 3D. Somebody's going to win a shirt and all kinds of good stuff. Robert, you're not looking at that page, I hope.
Which one?
Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Okay?
Okay.
Now I'm gonna pick a number, and then I'm gonna give you a random number. Here's how I'm doing it. There's 10 comments.
Okay.
And you could just do, and somebody could say you're looking at your name. So I'm gonna pick a starting point, like 7 or 3 or 4 or 1, and then we'll do 10 people after that, or whatever your number is after that, to completely randomize it. Does that make sense?
So what do you need me to do?
Well, I need you to pick a number. I'm just going to pick your number, starting up comment and go, okay, if you pick 7, we're doing the 7th down. I'm going to really randomize it. I'm going to pick a number, and whatever my number is, say 1, 3, 5, 6, we're going to start at that comment and then add your random number to it and cycle through it to make sure people know we're legit.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so I got my number. I got it right here in my hand. Robert, give me a number 1 to 10.
My 9. It's always been my lucky number. I was born August 9th, so it's always been my go-to number.
I got 3. So number 3 is Ernesto. That's the 3rd comment down. We're going to cycle 9 comments down after that to pick the winner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Let's see, we got any below, and we'll come back up. 8, 9. So the winner is Dwayne Davis. Dwayne, if you're please email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, or slide on to my Instagram @benthebarman, and let me know you're Dwayne Davis, and you are the winner. All right. What do we got here? Neil, thank you for the donation, Neil. We sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Beef, Robert, you need to get involved with Metallica's Garage Days EP. The Garage Days EP is like, early Metallica, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. Those were legendary, right? But when Garage Days came out, I just wanted to get drunk and listen to that, drunk and stoned and listen to that EP over and over again. It's just got balls. It's everything that's good about metal. That's all I'll say. Best rep range for RDLs. Good question. I don't like to overwork the RDLs, meaning once you build up a reasonable amount of strength, like you're getting over 275, 315, I don't like to do more than 2 sets. I don't like to put extra stress on the back. Then it's 8 to 12 reps, probably 10 to 12 reps max. But below that, you could go a little bit higher, but generally 10 to 12 reps. Do you do RDLs, Robert?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And I was about to say the same thing. I don't want to go past 12 on that. Then it's just like the cardio becomes the limiting factor in that, or grip strength or something.
Yeah, RDLs are very, very intense. And somebody's saying Greg Duvier, Mr. Butters, has not made an appearance. He's actually beating on my door right now to get in. He was on earlier just for a brief moment when my wife popped in. Jared, Hot Stuff. Yep, that is the supplement from the 80s that had pixie dust of everything. Scotty Mac, Rammstein is weightlifting music 100%. Also Machine Head. So why are you subscribed to V-Shred? V-Shred, he disappeared for a long, long time, if I remember correctly. And now that he's come back, he puts out epic videos like how to reduce bra bulge, bra fat around your bra. Like, I got to watch, dude. I got to watch him closely because it's the clown college of YouTube fitness. All right, Sebastian, sometimes listen to Danheim as well, Viking theme music. Not heard of that. And Stein, last question. Finally, they stopped playing Christmas music in my gym. Good God. That's it. Look, I like Christmas music as much as the next guy. But when they play shitty music in the gym, I mean, come on. It's not even right. You got to play some live music. So, all right, Robert, we're done. I appreciate your time. Again, guys, please head over to superlivingtoday.com. Check out our new product, Massive Creatine Plus. Someone on Instagram asked what the difference was between regular creatine. It has some added ingredients, and that information can be found over on the website. We'll be here every Friday at 11 a.m. Robert, you made it through again without having to go urinate. You are a true Ironman. Cal Ripken, Jr. of the Friday podcasts.
Robert, do my best.
He's probably got a little pee jar under his.
I mean, I've drank since we've been on this thing. I've drank 16 ounces of coffee, plus I've got some electrolyte stuff in this container. So yeah, it's coming up on needing to go pee, but I can still hold that for a little bit longer.
Robert, you have any idea what that is?
Costochondritis? Nope, never heard of it.
Nope, sorry, not familiar with it. Wish we could help. All right, Robert, what are you doing this weekend?
It's going to be cold here in Austin. Not as cold as it was. I mean, we're going to be in like the mid 50s all weekend. Slight chance of rain tomorrow, so it's in limbo whether we're going to go to Iron Wolf in the afternoon. But before that, got push day workout tomorrow. Sandy's going to be doing some more of her online classes. She's currently working on her PhD for math education, so she's doing prepping. She's got online classes and homework and all that stuff. So I'm usually on toddler duty in the morning time, so I'll do my push workout with her. And then I'll do the Final Scoop podcast at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So anybody interested in hearing all about that and seeing Shane from Stack.com and Robbie at Apollo Nutrition, all the other goofballs and friends that I'm on the podcast with can tune in tomorrow to the Supplement Engineer YouTube channel at 1 p.m. And then Sunday's more of the same. I've got a leg workout scheduled for Sunday, cooking breakfast, doing a bunch of meal prep, and yeah. Working too. I'm sure I've got a bunch of writing tasks that I need to get done from some other sports brands and whatnot.
I am going to run for 2 hours tomorrow. As always, I'll be in my office doing client work. I got a lot of workouts to do this weekend. and my wife has a photo shoot on Sunday. So that's my fun this weekend. So, all right, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate your support and appreciate you guys dropping comments at Stacked 3D. Means a lot with the little guys, but we're going to put out the best products we can. We'll see you next week, you bunch of weirdos. Later.
Bye.